UFC 319 takes place this weekend at Chicago, Illinois, at the United Center. I'm actually very excited for this card. Hold on, I literally just started recording and some bullshit had popped up on my fucking screen. Uh, there we go. Okay. Okay, wait, what fucking fight is this? Is this UFC 319? It is. I'm just now finding out about these two fights. What the fuck are these? Who are these guys? Are these tough guys? From Team Cormier versus Team Sonnen, is that what these are? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I didn't watch Tough. I don't know who any of these four guys are. So, I'm actually just gonna be making bullshit um predictions here. Oh, dude, this guy don't even have any stats. I was gonna go off of just like physical attributes, but this guy don't even have any stats. Kazakhstan and the United States. I'm gonna go Ilibi Idris just because he's from Kazakhstan and the other guy's from the United States. I mean, I just feel like that's a pretty safe bet, right? So, moving on to two other unknown guys. Brazil versus Ukraine. Going with a Brazilian fighter is typically a bit of a safer bet if you don't know who to choose. So, Rodrigo Cezinada will beat Danil Dunchikego. Dunchek, no. I guess. Moving on. Karine Silva versus Diane Barboza. I'm gonna go with Karine Silva here. She's just a God. Look at the experience difference: 18-5 and 8-3. I'm gonna go with Karine Silva. She's pretty well rounded and she's just got some. She's just got some pretty decent wins. You know, like Karine Silva. Last fight she lost to Vivian Araujo, and then, and then she beat. Okay. Oh. All right, I guess. Doesn't look too impressive, but the Dion Barbosa. What was her last fight again? Diana Belbita. Look, I love Diana Belbita as much as the next guy, but man, it's not a good win. She lost to Miranda Maverick. Okay. I'm gonna go Karine Silva though, just because I know she's pretty well rounded. She can strike and she can grapple. I just think Karine Silva here is a pretty relatively safe bet, right? So, yeah, Karine Silva by decision. Moving on to Brian Battle versus Nursultan Ruzaboev. I got Brian Battle here, and I don't really feel like I need to explain myself much. Brian Battle's the better striker here, like without a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Nursultan Ruzaboev can grapple. He actually did pretty well against Joaquin Buckley, who I believe is really good in this division. And Nursultan Ruzaboev does have a knockout win over the greatest MMA fighter in UFC history. And fucking what's his name? McConaughey, Aaron McConaughey. He's the absolute GOAT of the sport, the absolute pinnacle. And Nursultan Ruzaboev slept him in one round, so that does make me worry a little bit about Brian Battle. But I still have Brian Battle just because Ruzaboev is fucking insanely experienced. I mean, look at that record: 36-9-2. My God, he's so experienced. But Brian Battle, man, he's the butcher, man. You know. Do you think the butcher is gonna lose in a fist fight to an Uzbekistani? You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm gonna go with Brian Battle by decision. Nursultan Ruzaboev is incredibly hard to finish. He's not gonna get finished here. I actually think that Nursultan has the finishing potential here. He could probably submit Brian Battle or something, but because Brian Battle has lost in the past to grapplers like Renat Fakhretdinov threw him around, so that's not a good look. But I'm gonna go with Brian Battle here. I do believe that Randy Brown beat Brian Battle. I thought that was a bad decision, but I also think that Randy Brown would beat Nursultan Ruzaboev as well. So I'm gonna go with Brian Battle here. He's a really good striker, really technical, powerful too. I mean, what he did in France last year was so beautiful, chef's kiss, and you know. I believe in the rise of Brian Battle, and I believe in the potential of him oh my God, this is a middleweight fight. He's back up at middleweight? Well, I guess Nursultan is a middleweight. He only fought in welterweight against Joaquin Buckley, I believe. All right. Well, Brian Battle's up at middleweight. I believe. Yeah, I'm still going with Brian Battle here by 29-28 unanimous decision. Moving on to Edson Barboza versus Drakkar Klose. Man. I think I'm going to go Edson Barboza here. Because I know Edson Barboza is getting a bit older. But he took a lot of time since his last loss against Lerone Murphy, who was also on his card. He took a lot of time. He did get beaten up in that fight, man. But took a lot of time. And he's older. He's like fucking... He's got to be 40, right? By this point. Edson Barboza's got to be 40. Man, but Drakkar Klose, man, he's just not good. You know, I mean, his last fight dominated and finished in like the first round against Joel Alvarez. And then he beat, who did he beat? That Joaquin Silva guy. But I mean, I don't know, dude. Drakkar Klose, I don't know if I think he's all that, to be honest. Edson Barboza, you know, could probably just kick him up, kick his legs out from under him, body kicks, head kicks. Drakkar Klose is kind of slow as well, and Edson Barboza still has some speed. So, and I don't think that Edson Barboza has much in the tank, but I think he's got enough in the tank to beat Drakkar Klose at this point in their careers. So I'm gonna go 24-12. I'm going to go Edson Barboza here by decision. It'll probably be... Drakkar Klose will probably stay in it enough to win a round and stay alive. But I don't know. I just... For the life of me, man, I don't really remember ever watching a Drakkar Klose fight and going, wow, this guy's a problem. Or this guy is, you know. So... Edson Barboza, 29-28, unanimous decision. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. This is going to be an easy Chase Hooper submission, I think. I think Chase Hooper is going to go out there. I think Chase Hooper is going to be better everywhere. I think Chase Hooper is going to go out there, actually start touching him up on the feet. And then Chase Hooper is going to mix in the grappling and get like an armbar submission or a triangle choke submission or something like that. I see a Chase Hooper submission in the first 2 rounds. I believe in Chase Hooper. I think he's really good. Alexander Hernandez is not, so, you know. I think all of my hope, I think all my hope died in Alexander Hernandez when he lost to Billy Quarantino. Because Billy Quarantino is like absolute dog, horse, bull, dog shit. So, Chase Hooper by submission. Because, dude, let's not forget, dude, Chase Hooper dropped fucking Slava Claus on the feet, dude. On the feet, he dropped him, and he won that fight. Very impressive. So, I think Chase Hooper is very underrated. Very underrated. So, I got Chase Hooper. Submission, first 2 rounds. Moving on. Jessica Andrade versus Lupi Godinez. Man, I dreaded picking this one. I don't know. because Lupi Godinez is good and she's looked good in the past, and Jessica Andrade has just kind of been figured out at this point in her career. Like, she just doesn't win anymore. She's been figured out. She's very simple in her approach, and yes, she hits hard, and she does have some grappling behind her, but Lupi Godinez, man, one thing about Lupi is that, like, has she ever been, like, outclassing anybody, or has she ever, like, really asserted herself ahead in a fight? I don't think so, dude. It's like Lupi Godinez is, like, always either doing equally as good as her opponent or just maybe slightly better. And Lupi and all her opponents land kind of similarly on each other in terms of numbers. And I'm just thinking, like, the power difference here. Like, if this is like any other Lupi Godinez fight, her and Jessica Andrade are going to land a similar amount of strikes every round. And the power difference for Jessica Andrade here is probably going to give her the advantage in that scenario. I mean, Jessica Andrade is, like, very powerful, and Lupi Godinez is not. So if Lupi Godinez is going shot for shot here like she always does, keeping it equal with her opponent, Jessica's going to be the one with, with more steam behind her shots. And Lupi Godinez. 1 win by knockout. Oh my god, get off my screen. And 2 wins by submission. Are you fucking kidding me? That has to be just UFC, right? That can't be overall. Out of 13 wins, she can't really have 3 finishes, right? That's super bad. Oh, she lost to Mackenzie Dern. Yeah. Yep. Jessica Andrade's got this. Jessica Andrade's got this. You lose to fucking Mackenzie Dern. Yeah. Jessica Andrade by TKO, I'm going to say. Round 3. Moving on. Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Olasejchik. I think that's how you say his name. I got Mikhail Olasejchik. I know that Mikhail Olasejchik, dude, has, like, fucking... Dude, you might have, like, 7 wins or 7 losses by submission, right? Like, I think he has, like, a insanely amount of, like... Let me actually fact check. I think he's got, like, an hilarious amount of submission losses. Which actually is really bad going up against GM3. But I'm going to tell you here in a minute why I'm picking Olasejchik. Where? Yeah, Mikhail Olasejchik. Hussar. I want to find out real quick how many submission losses he's got. Come on, phone. You work at perfect speeds. Now all of a sudden you got to be slow, huh? All right, well, while I wait on that to load, I just don't think you can put trust in Gerald Meerschaert. I know Mikhail Olasejchik isn't good either, but it's like at least he's, like, winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won his last fight against Cedric Dumas. When was the last time Gerald Meerschaert won? Wasn't it that comeback win against Edmund Shabazian? Is that his last win? All right. Mikhail Olasejchik has 6 submission losses, man. Ridiculous. So Gerald Meerschaert could definitely get a submission here, but I think that is his own. I think that is his only way to win here. I don't see him. I see Mikhail outstriking every second of this fight. And Gerald Meerschaert's big though, and he's kind of strong. He could probably implement his grappling and get a submission. I don't see it. I don't see it. Mikhail Olasejchik just started recently training with the Fighting Nerds as well. Not that he's going to become this knockout artist, but I do got Mikhail Olasejchik by decision, though. I just think he's just a better overall MMA fighter than Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert is a jiu-jitsu guy. He really can't even wrestle like that, and he can't strike. So, Mikhail Lasacek just by being more well-rounded, just by being the better overall MMA fighter. I also believe he's younger as well. So, yes, Mikhail by, I'm going to say he wins all 3 rounds, 30-27, unanimous decision. Bobby Green. Your name isn't King, lad. Your name is Bobby. You were born Bobby. All right, I'm going to go with Bobby Green here. And I'm going to be honest here. This is the same. I'm going to be honest here. I feel the same way about this fight that I did with Bobby Green versus Jim Miller at UFC 300. Bobby Green doesn't have a great chin, but let's be real here. The dude only loses to like up and coming competition. You know, the new guys. You know, the Patty Pimblets, the fucking Drew Dobers, the fucking the Mauricio Hoofies. Like, that's who Bobby Green loses to. You put Bobby Green up against another unk, and he is gonna whoop the shit out of him. He beat up on Jim Miller. He beat up on Tony Ferguson. He beat up on this other unk. And now he's gonna beat up Diego Ferreira. I think he's gonna beat the shit out of Diego Ferreira. Cause I don't think these unks of the division beat Bobby Green. I think he's one of the better unks in the division, you know? It's very slick boxing. Very slick boxing Bobby Green has, dude. It's so nice, crisp, and quick, and he has very effective boxing. It's just these younger guys are they're faster and they're bigger than him, and, you know, Bobby Green can't take shots like he used to, but I just don't see Diego Ferreira going out there and putting Bobby Green's lights out, you know? Bobby's too quick for that. So, I see Bobby Green. Before I say something stupid, I want to make sure. I want to fact check over Diego Ferreira's losses. See how finishable he is. I have a feeling he's not that finishable. Oh man, he's not. I mean, he has 3 KO losses. Just lost to Grant Dawson. Oh, that's right. He beat Mateus Rebecki. Man. That's actually a really good fucking win, dude. KO'd Michael Johnson. Lost to Mateus Gamrot. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bobby Green, though. I'm going to go with Bobby Green. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bobby Green by knockout, dude. I'm going to go Bobby Green knockout in round 2. Moving on. Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. Now, you guys will never understand the love that I have for Tim fucking Elliott. Let me tell you why. When Tim Elliott was going up against who's that absolute bum on Khabib's team? Starts with a U, I'm telling you it does. Why can't I remember these guys' names when making videos, man? Ulanbekov. Yeah. Tagir Ulanbekov. When Tim Elliott was going up against Tagir Ulanbekov, man, I made such a perfect read, and I said, you know what? I think Tim Elliott's got this one, because Tim Elliott is, like, he's weird and he's awkward, and Tim Elliott is very hard to grapple, which he is. And I just see Tim Elliott beating Tagir Ulanbekov. He goes out there and he drops Tagir and beats Tagir Ulanbekov, and it made me so proud to be a Tim Elliott fan, and it made me so happy that he went out and proved me right. However, I am gonna go against him here. I am gonna go with Kaya Sakura, just because Kaya Sakura is a better striker than Tim Elliott, and dude, Kaya Sakura is a really dangerous striker. He's 1-1 with Manel Cap, so it would be cool to get that trilogy here in the UFC. I believe they're 1-1. And Kai Sakura got submitted and dealt with easily by Alejandro Pantoja, but that's Alejandro Pantoja in your debut, right? Crazy circumstances. I don't think Tim Elliott. I don't know. But I got Kai Asakura, dude. I got Kai Asakura. I'm actually going to go by knockout as well. Round 1. I think Kai Asakura is going to go out there. Just be doing too much. Have too much of a presence out there against Tim Elliott. And he's just going to be landing his kicks. And I think he's just going to find a shot that just puts Tim Elliott down. Kai Sakura, round 1 KO. TKO over Tim Elliott. I love Tim Elliott though, man. And if he were to win, it would make me happy. But I just don't know how many more. I don't know how many more years he can keep this up. And Kai Sakura is younger, and Kai Sakura has real potential to be an absolute star. Because I don't know if you guys know, but I mean he was getting views like so long ago, like on his YouTube channel. Like he gets views, dude. Like, he's a fucking star. So, and I just think it would just make sense for Kai Sakura to go out there and have a star-making performance in his second UFC fight. Moving on, Jared Cannonier versus Michael Page. Now, I have combated this fight, man, all week long. Because I can really see, man. I think the winner of this fight solely depends on what Jared Cannonier wants to do. I think Jared Cannonier can absolutely go out here and grapple MVP and win an easy decision. But I could also see him going out there and being Jared fucking Cannonier and then just standing with the MVP and getting outstruck, man. I don't know if I see a knockout here on either side, to be honest with you. I think this is a decision for whoever wins, but dude, look at Jared Cannonier in this fucking picture, dude. Looks like a monster. But Jared Cannonier, if he goes out there and he grapples and he has a grappling heavy style and mixes it in with the striking, I think he can take Michael Page pretty easily with the grappling. But I can't trust him to do that. Jared Cannonier, you know what I've always thought about Jared Cannonier? I think if he went out there with intent to kill more, his career would have been so much better. Like, Jared Cannonier goes out there and he gets gun shy and he tries to be like this super technical guy. And he's patient, waiting for the right shot. I'm just thinking, man, Jared, if you just let your hands go, man, you're fucking powerful. And you have so much presence in that cage because he's so huge. He's so strong. I think if he went out there, I'm not asking him to absolutely wing shots. I'm just saying, go out there with some intent to kill, you know? Go out there, rush across the cage, you know, and just throw shots. Like, he likes to counter people and be this really technically sound guy. And it's like, your anatomy's not built for that. Go out there and, you know, put some leather on this guy. Go out there and throw those bombs that you have naturally. I mean, look at those arms. He's got so much power, but he tries to be this tit-for-tat guy. And it's just like, Jared, take his fucking head off. You know what I'm saying? Man. So, I think he's going to go out there and fucking tit-for-tat with MVP. And you lose that every time. I don't care who you are. If you go out there and you tit-for-tat with MVP, you're going to lose. That's how it works. You know, Ian Gary won because he implemented some grappling. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But Jared Cannonier is going to go out there and he's going to go tit-for-tat with MVP. And he's not going to throw no crazy shots. He's not going to, you know. Look, I bet you not one shot Jared Cannonier throws this weekend has intent to decapitate MVP. Watch, I guarantee it. MVP's going to win because he's too fast and he's too good of a striker and way too good at that tit-for-tat kind of style that these two are going to have. So, MVP by decision. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. I'm going to take Carlos Prates here. Hold on. What are we at? We're at 24 minutes. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm gonna go with Carlos Prates here, and I'm gonna tell you why. Jared Cannonier. All right, had to do with a little something, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Carlos Prates here, because there's a few issues that I got with Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal always struggles with taller opponents as well. I mean, Shavkat, Ian Gary, guys with length have always given Jeff Neal problems. And don't get me wrong, Jeff Neal can win this fight, absolutely. I have been such a high believer of Jeff Neal for a long time. Like, since his win against Bilal, I'm thinking, dude, what don't this guy have? This guy has everything anyone could need to become champion. His career just hasn't played out that way. He's had a lot of injuries. He's gotten arrested. He's had a lot of long layoffs. Jeff Neal has just had a very unlucky career, and I feel like it has really halted him. Also, with some stylistic nightmares as well he's had to go up against. I just think Carlos Prates is another really bad matchup. He's super tall, super powerful, and he's going to be out for redemption here because he had his first loss in the UFC. Jeff Neal is no stranger to losing, So it's just like he's content with losing. That's one thing. Jeff Neal is content in losing a fight because Jeff Neal is that kind of guy who knows he's down on the scorecards and he doesn't change anything. He doesn't pick up the pace. He doesn't try something new. He doesn't try a Hail Mary. He doesn't go out in the third round with a different mindset. So, man, I gotta go Carlos Prates because we've seen Jeff Neal hurt too as well in his career with some shots, and Prates hits hard and he's lengthy and he uses his length really well. Yeah, I got Carlos Prates here, but man, I'd love Jeff Neal. I would love to see him. I want to see both these guys win. So it sucks that they're going against each other and one of them's got to lose, but at least one of them's gonna win. Neal has just shown me too many times he's not willing to do enough to win. He loses by inactivity a lot. And, tall striker is Jeff Neal's kryptonite, man. It just is. I don't know if I see a knockout here for Carlos Prates, just because Jeff Neal is really tough. Yeah, I'm going to go with, has Jeff Neal ever been knocked out? It might not have been. I don't remember it. I'm going to go Carlos Prates by decision, 29-28. But I think this is going to be a fun fight, though, I think. So, yeah, 29-28, Carlos Prates. Moving on to the co-main event. Lauren Murphy versus Aaron Pico. If you guys don't know, I have returned to my underdog of the week picks. I uploaded on YouTube my short explaining why. Oh, I can't believe I'm yawning. All right. I got Lauren Murphy, man. I got to be honest. I'm not too familiar with Aaron Pico. Enough, though. I am enough. I did go back and watch a few fights, and he does have some okay boxing, but I don't know. I still think he's a bit kind of simple in his approach and in his style. Lauren Murphy has a unique style to himself. I don't really like Lauren Murphy. I think his style is kind of boring. I don't really enjoy watching him fight all too often. Because he doesn't really go out, he doesn't go out there and take people's head off, or he doesn't go out there and slam them and submit them, but he is very good, and he is very good for a reason. He is undefeated, and I think that will hold up after this weekend. I think he's going to go out there. I think he's a better overall striker than Aaron Pico, and I know Aaron Pico's a really good grappler, and he is even training with Hamza Chimaev for this camp, and he probably could have some success grappling Lauren Murphy, but Lauren Murphy has really good defensive grappling as well. We've seen that against Josh Emmett, who isn't the strongest grappler, but Aaron Pico. He's young though, so he still got some sort of career ahead of him. I believe he's not even 30. I don't think either of these guys are 30 years old yet. But I got Lerone Murphy 16-0, 17-0 after Saturday. Just from the few fights I've seen from Aaron Pico, who just hasn't really seemed to be on. Okay, hold on. And I just want to say this: I'm absolutely tired of pretending like these guys coming over are on UFC level, because they're not. We've seen it way too many times. Patchy Mix coming over, getting completely shut down. Pitbull coming over, getting absolutely shut down by Yair Rodriguez. I mean, these guys with names behind them from other organizations finally come over, and they're just not UFC level. They don't beat UFC competition. Lerone Murphy's going to go out there, and I think he's going to win pretty comfortably here. 29-28, another 29-28 decision. I want to see more 5-round co-main events, but I'm okay with this being 3 rounds, of course, as someone who doesn't really typically enjoy Lerone Murphy fighting, so, yeah. And, main event. Dracus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. I've decided. It took me all week to decide, and I want to read something out to you guys. So, obviously I have a 9 to 5. And while I was at work this week, right? I was cleaning some machines. And I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking in my head the entire time I'm cleaning these machines, I'm thinking about this fight in my head. So I go, you know what? Let me pull out my phone, open the notes app, and turn on voice recognition, and just talk my thoughts, and then see what I get after I just brainstorm out loud. I'm gonna read this to you guys, okay? It is quite long. My initial prediction when the fight was first announced was that Khamzat would win because of the grappling, but then I started to think more and I realized that DDP would be incredibly hard to just take down and submit because he is very physical and strong himself, and he has very credentialed grappling. But then I started watching some fights, and I noticed that Darren Till was able to reverse position on DDP and take him down, and he was even able to get him in a choke, which obviously didn't lead to nothing because Darren Till has no idea what he's doing. But someone like Khamzat puts you in a position like that, and you're dead. One thing that I really like about DDP, though, is his mentality. He really believes in himself and in his style, and he has such a high level of confidence in himself and his style and his team and his preparation that it really does make him hard to pick against. Plus, we've never seen him lose in the UFC. So although he is not undefeated overall, he is undefeated in the UFC and is the current champion of the middleweight division. And his style really does work for him no matter the circumstances of a fight. And DDP is so good and well-rounded, I just see it being hard for Khamzat to be able to take him down and finish him so easily because DDP has looked kind of invincible up to this point. Then I continue to watch fights and I'm just thinking, man, some of these positions that these guys have DDP in, I just see Khamzat finishing from these positions. But then I see Khamzat have very close competitive fights with Usman and Burns, who all took it to a decision. But then I think, well, Kamaru Usman is a way better defensive grappler than DDP because of who Usman is. Guys, Kamaru Usman, 100% takedown defense before he got taken down once by Leon Edwards, and then he fought Khamzat Chimaev. Kamaru Usman had only been taken down one time, and Kamaru had a takedown defense up in the 90s, and DDP has a takedown defense of 50%. So, I'm not done reading, but that is one big thing. Khamzat was able to take down Kamaru Usman multiple times. Someone with takedown defense up in the 90s. DDP has 50%. He defends 1 in every 2 takedowns. That is so bad, right? And I saw that DDP has a takedown defense of 50%, and that really doesn't help his case here. And I know that getting taken down doesn't always mean you get finished, but that means you are grappleable, and DDP is grappleable. And I don't think that fares well against someone like Khamzat. Another thing that really stumps me is the fact that against Burns or Usman, when Khamzat begins to fail takedowns, and he isn't able to finish you in round 1, his takedowns become less of a threat, he starts failing them, and he slows down. And it makes me think DDP can survive round 1. Yeah, here's a good point I made. If DDP survives the first round, which is very likely, I don't see Khamzat having the same ferocity or control he did in rounds 2, 3, 4, or 5. So, if DDP survives 1 round, which is very likely, Khamzat will not have, for the next 4 fights, the same ferocity and control he had in the first round, which already is making me lean towards du Plessis. And I only see DDP being the one getting better as the fight goes on. But again, Khamzat has fought better defensive grapplers and almost finished them. But there's something about DDP I feel like is different from any other guy that Khamzat has ever fought. It's just, I think the winner. Now this last bit of my note is gonna really tie into why I'm officially predicting Dricus du Plessis. I honestly think the winner of this fight will not necessarily depend on what Khamzat does. I think it'll depend on what DDP can and cannot do. Now, here's why I officially went with Dricus du Plessis. And MMA Guru, shout out, had a really good read on this as well. But it's something that I have also noticed. You can't defend the grappling of Khamzat Chimaev. You can't do it. Because Khamzat Chimaev, he's too good and he's too strong of a grappler. As simple as that. You cannot defend his grappling. And the mistake that everybody makes is trying to defend Khamzat's takedowns and grappling. It's, you know what? Let me go out there and defend these takedowns. Stop him from getting this to the ground. If that's your mentality, you have already lost to Khamzat Chimaev. You've already lost. To beat Khamzat Chimaev, I'm going to be honest, you're going to need to shoot a takedown first. You have to shoot a takedown on Khamzat Chimaev before he does. And the reason I say that is because, listen, would you rather, A, get taken down by Khamzat, or B, attempt to grapple with Khamzat and force him to grapple and force him to scramble? Those are your two options when you fight Khamzat, right? And if you pick, if DDP shoots first, Khamzat will not be on top of him. Khamzat will be scrambling with him, and you're just making Khamzat work. That's all it really is. That's all you really need to do is make Khamzat work. You can't let him come to you. You have to go to him. Because, you know, if you don't, you know, Khamzat's gonna grab a hold of you. He is, and he's gonna take you down. Nobody has been able to stop him yet. Stop his forward pressure. So if you can be the one with forward pressure, I think you can really slow down Khamzat Chimaev quicker. You know? And Bilal Muhammad picked Khamzat, so that also made me want to pick Dricus du Plessis. But yeah, I got Dricus because Dricus said he is gonna grapple Khamzat. He is gonna shoot takedowns. He is gonna make Khamzat work. He even said, "I'm not gonna defend anything. I'm not gonna defend anything Khamzat does, because he's gonna be defending from me." That is the mindset that you have to have when you fight Khamzat Chimaev. I won't need to defend anything because he's going to need to defend me. He's going to need to defend my takedowns. He's going to have to defend my pressure, my strikes, my submissions, you know? DDP has that mentality, and he has the physicality and the skills to make that happen. So I did think Khamzat was going to go in there in round 1 and just take him down and sub him. That's my initial thought. Like, when this fight was announced, I'm like, oh, Khamzat's champion. Well, it was a good run, DDP. But someone like me, I'm always researching. I'm always watching fights. I'm always trying to figure out, can my prediction be wrong? Can my initial prediction be wrong? And I think it is here. I did more research. I did more thinking. I see DDP winning. I see this fight starting. Either Dricus du Plessis is going to get a takedown immediately, or they're head clashing. I could see them head clashing immediately because I think Khamzat's going to shoot, but I do think that DDP is going to try to make an effort to shoot first. So they might just straight on head clash. And I just see Khamzat losing. Dricus du Plessis got it. What are we at? How much time are we at? 41 minutes. Okay. Yeah, dude. What this comes down to is honestly just the mentality of Dricus du Plessis. I think he's got the mentality to beat anybody. So he's got that strong mentality that can never be broken. I think they're going to have a very competitive first round. I do think Khamzat's going to win round 1. He's going to eventually get on top of Dricus. But it'll already be like half of the round gone. And he won't have as much time in round 1 to work as he does normally. And then rounds 2, 3, 4, I think Dricus is going to really put it on him and wear Khamzat out. I'm actually going to predict a round 4 TKO for Dricus du Plessis. Round 4, Khamzat's going to come out. He's going to have no gas left. He's going to have his hands on his knee. I think when round 4 is starting, du Plessis is going to be, because he's a cardio king, Dricus, so he's going to be bouncing. First 3 rounds, piece of cake, you know? He's hyped. He's got energy. Khamzat's going to have his hands on his knees. And then they're going to start the round. Khamzat's going to go for a terrible takedown attempt. Dricus is going to shuck him off, throw him on the ground. Body shot, body shot. Khamzat's up against the cage, blocking. Body shot, headshot, headshot. And I think Dricus is going to put it on him and get a body shot TKO in round 4 after Khamzat has just been gassing since round 1. Official prediction right there. Dricus du Plessis will win. So that's every fight, dude. I got Alibi Idris, Rodrigo Cecchinato, Karine Silva, Brian Battle, Edson Barbosa, Chase Hooper, Jessica Andrade, Mikhail Lasechik. Oh my God. Bobby Green, Kai Sakura, MVP, Carlos Prates, Laurent Murphy, and Dricus du Plessis. Those are my picks. Let me show you my parlay, because I do got parlay. Every bet that I put on this channel, underdog of the week or props of the week, I always bet on them as well. But look at this bet I got. I like this one, dude. Brian Battle. Oh my God. Brian Battle, Chase Hooper, Carlos Prates, Laurent Murphy, Dricus du Plessis, man. I put $5 on it for a payout of $118. So, all right, that's gonna wrap this video up. Appreciate you guys for watching and giving me your time of day, man. I appreciate it. Let me fix this actually. This is honestly, in my opinion, this is the best fight we've had in years. This is the best fight this year, no doubt. It's the best fight the last 2 years, maybe last 3 years. There's so much hanging on with this fight, so, I will. That was my sister. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I still am rooting for Khamzat Chimaev, but I do think DDP is going to win. South Africa,